Cats have taken over this Russian coastal town. They are everywhere, and they're extorting the local population for everything they're worth. Take a Yandex taxi with me from Kaliningrad city up to the coastline so we can go check out the town of Zelenogradsk, where hopefully we will learn how this town went from a German resort village to a Soviet beach town and is now a fortress of cat supremacy. Davai. До свидания. Oh, this is a badass taxi. I love this. I've always wanted a Toyota Helix.
Да, я из Ирландии, и я люблю ваши машины.
I speak English a little bit.
Ah, very good, very good. I like your truck.
Alan,
Yes.
this is the best car of my life.
Really?
Really, yeah.
How long have you had this?
Huh?
How long have you had this?
How long? 12 years.
12 years. Ah,
12 years.
Yes.
It's no problem. I'm a fisherman, like my hobby.
oh, you like fishing?
Yeah.
You like fishing?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Now it's hot season.
Do you like Zelenogradsk?
What?
Zelenogradsk.
Zelenogradsk is it's our small town.
Yes.
Small town on the sea. But now it's not season, right? Very cold. Very cold.
Yes.
In summer, the good time.
Summertime is good, the best.
Summertime, yeah. You can swim in. You can take sunshine. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Really, yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
Sand on the beach, very hot. Very hot, yeah.
My first impressions walking down here is definitely, of course, this is a touristy spot, but look, we already found our first one. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. Привет. Привет. Здравствуйте. Привет. Откуда вы? Из Zelenogradsk. Zelenogradsk. Да, спасибо. О, эй! Что ты делаешь? Что ты делаешь? Что ты делаешь? До свидания. Since 2010, Zelenogradsk has surrendered itself to become the capital city of cats in exchange for the increase in tourism of cat lovers around the world. These furry tourism ambassadors are celebrated through the sculptures, street art, and other cat-themed urban objects. In 2018, the city introduced the role of Koto chef, responsible for feeding and caring for the numerous cats living in the city square, where heated cat houses are provided. Funding for the cat care comes from the city administration, volunteers, and vending machines selling cat food for tourists. And of course, the capital of cats wouldn't be complete without a vending machine to feed all these cats. They got to eat somehow, and someone's definitely keeping these cats fed. So let's go ahead and feed some cats. He's already got some, so we'll go find someone who doesn't have some yet. The streets are just, really beautiful, really clean. A lot of really cool artwork as well. Check this out. Beautiful murals in all sorts of buildings out here. Got a lot more renovations going on, a lot of work happening over here. I'm actually really tired, so let's go ahead and get a coffee. Здравствуйте, можно мне, пожалуйста, капучино?
Маленький или большой?
Большой, пожалуйста.
175.
Спасибо большое. Of course, this place has a really nice resort vibe to it, but what's really interesting and unique to me is Lenin. Where else are you going to see Lenin in this kind of atmosphere? Probably one of the more unique Lenin statues that I've seen in my travels so far. I've already seen so many Lenin statues, but this one's really, really interesting. It's nice though. Look at the white marble. It just looks fresh. I don't know. Just pops. Yeah, we've got Lenin. And who's this running behind it? Someone's behind. Hey. Что ты делаешь? Что ты делаешь? Hiding out. Just hiding out. You got a nice little nook. Hiding out. Nice and private. That way, people like me, less likely to see him, come mess with him.
right here, safeguarded under Vladimir Lenin himself. The Soviet Union may not be here anymore, but here in Zelenogradsk, this is a world of bounty and kibbles for all the cats. All the cats can share in the wealth of this utopia. This.
This is the Kurhaus Cranz. Kurhaus is German for Spahouse. So this is the original Spahouse from back in the old German days. And today it's a hotel, I believe. It was built in 1822.
Привет, привет. Здесь.
Beautiful classic Soviet car right here, stumbled across. Really, really cool. Let's take a look. Really, really, really cool. Here we are on Lenin Street in Zelenogradsk, and look at this. This is an original building. This is originally built by the Germans at the early 20th century. A very unique style of architecture here. But right now, this is where the local history museum is. So in order to find out a little bit more about Zelenogradsk and Cranz before that, let's go inside and take a look. Originally, this street was named Königsberger Straße, but today it's Lenina Ulica. Of course, renamed after this became part of the Soviet Union, and today part of the Russian Federation.
Здравствуйте. Можно мне, пожалуйста, билет?
Yeah, it looks like here in this room, we're talking about the Viking Age. So, according to the information here, looks like where we are would have been a very important trade route for the Vikings in the ancient Viking times. And in this land, there would have been the ancient Prussian tribes that would have inhabited here before the Teutonic Order ever showed up.
During the 1800s, Cranz became the main coastal resort town for the German Kingdom of Prussia, attracting many visitors to use the rail line running from what was known at that time as Königsberg all the way to Cranz. It was known as Das Königliche Bad, the royal bathing resort. The 6,000 Germans who lived here survived from the flourishing tourism industry as well as the local fishing industry. As East Prussia was taken by the advancing Soviet Red Army, while Königsberg was heavily damaged during the Battle of Königsberg, Cranz thankfully did not see much structural damage and was surrendered to the Soviet forces. Anyone from the local population who had not already evacuated with the rest of East Prussia would then go on to leave the area, expelled in accordance with the Potsdam Agreement, signed by the US, the UK, and the USSR at the end of the Great Patriotic War, also known as World War II. Cranz, along with other former East Prussian towns, would then be renamed. Zelenogradsk was chosen as the new name for the newly Soviet coastal town.
This is really interesting here. This is actually the historical bathroom of this building, because remember, I'm in a original German building built at the beginning of the 20th century, and it's been kept very much the same way as it would have looked back in the East Prussian days. Look at this. You can almost picture yourself there, you know, in the city of Cranz. You can imagine yourself right here. Citizens of Cranz probably bathed right here. Привет. Ostseebad Cranz, Saison 1913, Rich Klapper. Cranz, it was the original name for Zelenogradsk back in the days of East Prussia. Cranz, the city of Cranz, actually became a very large tourist spot in the 1800s. And so actually, While this is Russia today, not that much has changed in the sense of the purpose of this location. Here we see some of the original tourists visiting the Prussian town of Cranz. As times change, we see today Zelenogradsk, the modern future here. A wonderful Russian resort town. This is definitely like an original building here, but the reason why I wanted to even talk about it is like if you look up top, right here, there's a mosaic up top, and that's not a Soviet mosaic. That's actually, I'm pretty sure, is a German mosaic.
Back when this was the German seaside town known as Cranz, this was the post office. And of course today it's not Cranz anymore, it's Zelenogradsk, and it's part of the Russian Federation.
I didn't see any reference to this old German building in the museum, but look at this up here. Look at up at the top. There's an old clock. Fortunately, time stopped. I wonder when the time stopped, or when it stopped working. Was it at the handover of Königsberg to Kaliningrad, or who knows when that clock stopped ticking? But what we know now is you'll need to tell your time some other way.
It's not hard to see why Zelenogradsk is such a popular destination for tourism in the summer months. I'm here out of season, but even now, it's a genuinely beautiful beach town. It's already making me want to plan a summer trip back here just to relax and hang out. If you're looking to visit the Kaliningrad Oblast, I would highly recommend setting aside a day to enjoy this town, maybe even staying here overnight, so you can really take your time and enjoy the Baltic Sea fresh air.
And here we are again, right at the Baltic Sea. Last time I touched the Baltic Sea, it was in Silme in Estonia. If you've never watched that video on my YouTube channel, please go check that out. But here I'm at another point in the Baltic Sea, and I'm going to touch it to see how cold it is. Woo! Yeah, that's pretty cold. That's pretty cold. Not as cold as you might think, though. It's April as I'm filming this. No doubt it is through this sea that Kaliningrad Oblast is able to import much of its products. As today's world, unfortunately, Kaliningrad is much more cut off from the other countries around it, Lithuania and Poland. Привет, привет. Обед здесь. Обед. Just walking through these streets, like you really feel like you're in Germany. Like I feel like I'm in a German seaside town until like I started going around people and speaking and hearing Russian and everything. Like there are so many original buildings left in Zelenogradsk from the time it was Kranz. It really is just like, it's surreal. This church right here was built in 1897. This was the Kranzkirche in the German village of Cranz. And what's interesting about this is it was originally a Lutheran church. Of course, Lutheran being a predominant religion among East Prussia, particularly after the Protestant Reformation. And but today, as of 2005, this church was actually handed over to the Russian Orthodox Church. And right now, there's a Russian Orthodox church service going on right now. So of course, out of respect, I'm not going to go inside. I did look through the window briefly, and I don't ever film in the Russian Orthodox churches out of respect, and that's usually the rule. But inside, I could tell that it was certainly converted into a Russian Orthodox church, which you may not expect from the exterior of the building. But once you were inside, it seemed to be standard with other Russian Orthodox cathedrals that I've seen, which is a very interesting mix of the German architecture with the Russian Orthodox Church. Nie ty хочешь. Почему? Почему ты не хочешь? This is a really interesting museum here, the Museum of Resort Fashion. And interestingly enough, this was the movie theater back in the Soviet times. Old Prussian style, German style brickwork interlaced with the Soviet tiles right here on the right. You know, these are beautiful buildings up here. Once again, we're not in Amsterdam, we're not in Germany. We're right here in Russia. Check this out. Looks like a lot right here. Here we are. 813 soldiers of the Red Army are buried right here at this site. Fell during the battle surrounding the village of Cranz, and through their heroism and their sacrifice, that the Red Army was able to secure victory in the very end. Ernest Hemingway said it best, that the whole world owes an enormous debt of gratitude to the Red Army, who successfully defeated fascism in the Great Patriotic War, or as we call it in the West, this is the Second World War. And it's important to remember that the Soviet Red Army fought in unison with the United States, the United Kingdom, and other allied powers in the ultimate victory that destroyed fascism once and for all in Europe. Unfortunately, today we're seeing more and more of the rise of fascism and apologism for the fascists. I was raised to have ultimate respect for the Red Army, even though I'm not Russian myself, or I'm not from a post-Soviet country. And it's for that reason I remember the Red Army and their sacrifices. I always try to lay a red carnation any chance I get as a sign of respect for the soldiers who gave their lives. 813 buried right here. And I think maybe one of the reflections that I have is the more and more I see these all over the place. I've seen them everywhere. And it just really starts to sink in the amount of human sacrifice that the people of the Soviet Union made in destroying fascism. And of course, the eternal flame shines bright. And how fitting is it that the eternal flame keeps warm a little cat here in Zelenogradsk. For me is the Queen Louise Hotel. You might be wondering, how old is this building? Well, believe it or not, it's only as new as 2022. It was completed. And I'll put the picture up here for you to look at. It's identical to the original hotel, Queen Louise, that was here back when this was at the German village of Cranz. Okay, well, I am the Borsch bandit. And here we are going to end our night in Zelenogradsk. I've had a great time here. I decided to try something I've never had before. This is called Lithuanian Borsch. So this is Borsch, but it's a different style. It's a Lithuanian style. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot. This is my first time ever trying this. It looks like there's an egg and maybe there's some dill. I've actually never had this in my life. I don't even know too much about it. So we're going to go in blind. We're going to give this a shot. Let's go. Very nice. Very interesting. The first thing, of course, that sticks out is this unlike the other borscht that I usually eat, this is cold. This is cold borscht. Also tastes a lot of the beetroot as well, but the onion as well. It's very, very zingy from the onions and cold. It actually blends really, really nice. Give this a good stir here. Let me go ahead and try this egg while we're at it. Of course, this is very different from anything I've tried before, borscht-wise, but I'm so impressed. I think I'm going to give this... I got to leave room for improvement. I think it's a great borscht, but there's a part of me that thinks that maybe it could be even better. I'm going to give this a solid 8 beetroots out of 10. Cold. It's cold. All I can say is Spasibo большое Zelenogradsk. I love this place. I think that everybody, regardless of your interests, really, anyone, especially in Europe, would enjoy a nice long stay here in this relaxing, beautiful, well-paced beach town. But there's also, of course, the interesting undercurrent of the old Prussian past here in the old city of Cranz, Zelenogradsk. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope we've all learned a little bit about the old history of East Prussia and the bright modern future of the Russian Oblast of Kaliningrad here in Zelenogradsk. Spokojnej noche. Good night.